Welcome back, everyone. Now we're going to get right to our first franchisor presentation with Biscuit Belly. I would like to welcome Chad Coulter and Chuck Schnatter with us today. Chad and Chuck, thank you for being here. We are really looking forward to your presentation.
Hey everybody, Chad Coulter here, founder and CEO of Biscuit Belly. I got my partner Chuck here. We'll be introducing ourselves a little bit more in detail here in a second, but we're super excited to be here today to discuss Biscuit Belly, what we've done thus far with our brand and our short time in franchising with our exciting new concept. But first, a shout out to Fazoli's, who will be presenting after us. Fazoli's, Steve with Fazoli's, if you need a 5-year-old influencer, our son Grayson would love to participate. He's already been featured on your Instagram, and he has a very interesting way to eat spaghetti. So he's a big fan. Our slogan at Biscuit Belly is damn good biscuits, and we proudly wear it on the back of our shirts every day. Actually, the very first time we baked our biscuits for the masses, the very first guy that took a bite of them said, "Damn, this is a good biscuit." And we knew that our slogan would therefore live in infamy. So we want to present our damn good biscuits as a damn good opportunity for the brunch space. So again, my name is Chad Coulter, founder and CEO. I started my career as a clinical pharmacist, and like most pharmacists, I went from antihypertension medicines and morphine to biscuits and gravy. So before that, we had a full service concept called Luvino. So we served small plates, wine, and about 60 wines by the glass. And we were in 3 different states and have 5 different locations. And from that concept spawned Biscuit Belly. And we have been growing this for the last 2 years and have a lot of good traction that we can't wait to tell you about. My partner here, Chuck Schnatter, is going to tell you a little about his background.
Sure, thanks, Chad. No, I started my adult life as a corporate lawyer doing corporate work, M&A, and some franchising. And in 1991, I went in-house at Papa John's International. I was there for just about 20 years. I ran the legal department, the franchising department, and the international for a little while. I left there in 2010. At that time, I was co-owner of 29 Papa John's franchise stores in 3 states. Since I sold out of those, and then I'm involved with the concept called Skyline Chili, which is based in Cincinnati. They've got about 145 stores, as well as a very successful grocery division. And then here locally, I am co-owner of Heine Brothers Coffee, which we proudly serve at Biscuit Belly. That has 17, getting ready to be 18 locations. And then I guess it's been about 3.5, 4 years ago, Chad and I partnered up on the Luvino business. We sold that in December to focus on Biscuit Belly. And so we've been, like Chad said, about 2 years ago, we put this thing together and rolled it out, and very excited about growing it from here. So,
as you can see under Chuck's name, I've got the partner and the guy who makes sure that I don't break anything or screw anything up. So he's definitely the more experienced veteran and great mentor for us as we continue to grow. So what is Biscuit Belly? So Biscuit Belly is a chef-driven, fast casual breakfast spot featuring large gourmet breakfast sandwiches. We're open for breakfast and brunch 7 days a week. Every dish is made in our scratch kitchen. We have our biscuits that we bake fresh every day, juicy fried chicken, savory gravies. We have 2 meats that we smoke in-house, both our brisket and our turkey that we use for our Kentucky Classic, our hot brown biscuits and gravy. And we don't want the veto vote, so we actually have vegetarian options as well. We have a warm and inviting environment where Southern hospitality reigns supreme. Again, when we were thinking about who we wanted to emulate for this model, we look at the masters of what they're doing, and that's Chick-fil-A. So how can we make a cooler, hipper, more scratch-based kitchen of Chick-fil-A? And that's what we're really trying to emulate here. So why we're awesome. So the reason we've been able to get several very experienced multi-unit operators on board thus far, which we'll talk about later, is we have our you-know-what together. So they've been extremely impressed with the systems and policies and just everything that we have thus far for a very what would normally people would think of as inexperienced, but we have a lot of experience in value on our side. We're young, scrappy, and hungry. From the hit show Hamilton, I'm sure everyone recognizes those terms. So we have a very young team, and we're ready to grow and take the next step into the larger franchising world. We're always looking for ways to push our brand forward, whether that's via technology. You can see these new plates that we've developed with Steelite over the last few months. We're really trying to figure out what we can do to make our job easier, and as well as our franchisees more successful. We also like to think of ourselves as the combination of three of the hottest segments in our industry right now. And that's fried chicken, which we know is extremely hot, fast casual, as well as the breakfast brunch spot. There's not a whole lot of options for those multi-unit franchisees. There's not a whole lot of options in the breakfast brunch space. So we'd like to see us be that next partner for them as they round out their portfolios. And our customers are our number one marketers. We don't have to spend 3, 4, 5% on marketing because, as we like to say, the camera eats first. And you can see via our Instagram page that our food is very photogenic, and it is very impressive when the customer gets it on their plate. Again, we have these lovely new plates, and they're taking pictures, sending it to friends, posting on Instagram. So it allows us to bring down our marketing budget because our customers are our marketeers. Our 10-year target, obviously, is total biscuit domination. We are going to, though, grow smart and not fast. We're going to grow really targeting the 300 to 400 mile radius around Louisville. But eventually, over the next 5, 6, 7 years, we do want to be the largest gourmet biscuit brand in the US. Our core values are very important to us. It is not something that we just post on the wall and as people walk by every day. So these are our 3 core values. Genuine charm. So we're looking for that employee who's upbeat, friendly, humbly confident, and always exhibiting genuine hospitality. Again, going back to that hospitality piece, being from Georgia, Southern hospitality is very important for me. And we really want to show that in the restaurants. We're looking for Go Get Us. If you're familiar with what Get It is a Cincinnati-based protein product. So we've kind of taken a spin off that. We actually have a menu item called the Go Getta. So we're taking a menu item and kind of making it into a core value as well. So we're looking for those employees and franchisees that are going to go the extra mile for their guests and team members and customers. And we're here to have a good time. We have a very friendly, inviting, bright, fun atmosphere at work. So we want to enjoy a fun time for not only our guests and customers, but also our employees. And our service values. So our 3 service values that we preach to our managers and we want them to focus on and do every day is every guest is greeted, every table touched, and every biscuit is the best biscuit. So that's really what we're living by here. And we're trying to find those franchisees, especially those multi-unit franchisees, that are going to be able to live this and bring this culture into their own restaurants. A little bit about our leadership team. So we have my wife, Lauren Coulter, is our Director of Franchise Sales and Development. So when you call about your interest in Biscuit Belly, hopefully after this presentation, you're not going to get just some salesperson that has been with the company for a few months. You're going to get one of the co-owners. And I think that's very important for us as an early stage franchisor, because she is there for the gatekeeper of who we bring on for initial discovery days. Lizzie Turner, who's been with us in several different concepts over the last 3 to 4 years, is our Director of Training. And then Hannah is our Director of Culinary Training and Operations. We have Madeline Ruggles, who just joined us as our Marketing Director, and Rob Spees, who spent the last 20 years in a variety of big names, Arby's, Cracker Barrel, or Charlie's. So he's leading our operations for our corporate stores. And something I didn't mention is we currently have 3 locations in Louisville, Kentucky. We just opened our first out of area location in Evansville, Indiana, that is doing quite well.
Chad, let me do before you jump off the people here. One of the things that I'm really excited about with this team is we've got a great combination of long-term employees who really believe in the culture, believe in the brand, as well as a great some new additions with Rob and Madeline. So I think I think Chad and the team are doing a great job of building that culture and the team that can help take this concept very quickly to a much higher level.
Yeah, and as we all know about restaurants, is once you sign on to build one, it takes a good 8 to 12 months to build. And so we are able to see our pipeline, and we are currently looking to fill our corporate side with very seasoned executives or those people that have been in the restaurant industry for a while, so we can be the support team that we need to be as an early franchisor for our franchisees. Just going into some of our top sellers, just so you can kind of see some of the food that we serve at Biscuit Belly. What you see on your left there on the yellow background is our loaded tots. So this is made up, or these are made up of shredded hash browns, pancake mix, sausage, and bacon, all made up into a ball, deep fried. And we have a maple syrup aioli that it's served with. In the middle, we have our Biscuit Belly, which is our spin on a traditional Benedict plate. So we have an open-faced biscuit, poached eggs, a house smoked brisket, roasted tomatoes, and our poblano tomato sauce. And then on the right, we have our what we call the gravy train. So we have 4 different in-house gravies that we're making. Customers can choose a kind of a sample platter, for lack of a better term, of 3 of those. And then, so our gravies are kind of on the top left, that's our vegetarian mushroom gravy. In the middle is our kind of spin off a Kentucky classic, the hot brown. So that's roasted turkey, smoked Gouda Mornay, bacon, and a roasted tomato. And then on the right there, we have our Gouda gravy. So that's Gouda sausage, again, big classic in Cincinnati, with breakfast sausage made into a gravy. And then we have our little mini biscuits in the basket there. Our number 1 seller from a biscuit sandwich standpoint is our low calorie option of the Rockwell Supreme. This is fried chicken, egg, bacon, cheddar, and our Gouda gravy. Our Mama's Boy is our biscuit sandwich with fried chicken, our house-made fried green tomatoes, a special pickle that a local Louisville pickle guy makes for us, and pimento cheese on the bottom. We have our goat, which is kind of a playoff, obviously being in Louisville, Muhammad Ali is being the greatest of all time, but we also have goat cheese on this guy. So we have fried chicken, a house-made pepper jelly, and goat cheese all on a biscuit. So what makes our biscuits so damn good? Well, we spent about 3 months testing probably every flour you can get your hands on to come up with the perfect mixture of fluffy, but also enough structure to hold up to everything that we're putting on these. And these are pretty monstrous gourmet sandwiches. So we needed something that could hold up to that. So we, again, spent several months. We've perfected our technique. And now we have a biscuit certification process that anyone that touches the biscuits have to go through to ensure that that quality is being met. So we aren't just a breakfast restaurant, we are a breakfast destination. For those people interested in our footprint, we're at about 28 to 3,200 square feet. We obviously would highly recommend a patio for those, for that extra square footage during the summertime to get increased sales. We have a flexible place where we can go. So if it's a freestanding location, inline, end cap, and drive-through, we can look at all those options. So we don't have to have just a freestander or just an inline. And also second generation spaces are also very attractive that we can convert pretty easily. Our second location actually was a former Zoe's restaurant that we were able to convert fairly inexpensively. And if there's one thing that COVID has taught us, it is that you need to be looking at the drive-through option, if not just for mobile pickup, potentially for full drive-through service. Our Evansville, Indiana location is our first attempt at the drive-through concept. It'll be that the drive-through will be opening here in another month or so, and it'll be a scaled-down menu. We call it the Biscuit Belly Express menu of those things that you can actually eat in your car. As you saw our biscuit sandwiches from previous slides, it'd be definitely hard to eat in the car without needing a shower afterwards. Or needing to go to the dry cleaners. But we'll have bacon, egg, and cheese, sausage, egg, and cheese, chicken biscuit, parfait. We'll have our full coffee options such as lattes, mochas, cappuccinos available via the drive-through. So this will be our, hopefully our ability to get those customers on the go who may not have time to sit down and have a full meal on the way to work, on the way to school or whatnot. A little bit about our atmosphere. This is kind of our Biscuit Belly 2.0 finishes. This is our Evansville, Indiana store. I'll have another slide after this that we will show you. But again, they're fun, inviting, bright, full of energy. We play the music loud. People are having a good time. Natural wood tones, kind of on top of those bright colors, just make it very inviting. And it's inviting for all ages and occasions. Yeah. People often ask us, well, what's your demographic? I mean, our demographic is everybody. On a given day, you'll see elderly couples, you'll see families spanning multiple generations, you'll see people going to concerts or coming back from concerts the day before or day after. It really runs the gamut of who our customer is. And here's some other pictures of the Evansville store. We have this nice herringbone pattern, which I think every restaurant I've ever done has herringbone in it. Some fun, funky tiles. We've upgraded our sign package to be this faux neon. We've got our hot biscuit sign. And again, we have fun with our spaces. We want them to be, again, photogenic, people taking pictures of the spaces. They're fun, inviting, and they're just all around good time.
And Chad, you did mention on the when you're talking about the menu, our drinks. We also have alcoholic beverages. We do mimosas and Bloody Marys, and the drinks get almost as much, if not more, airtime on social media than some of the food. So that is something that people come in on weekends. They want to have a mimosa. They want to have a Bloody Mary. They want to have we've got a Kentucky coffee. So that we do have those options as well.
Yeah, so that's a great point that Chuck mentioned. So we do have a full bar, and it really allows people that wants that beverage, on a Sunday morning, maybe it's a hangover cure, maybe it's just to relax a little bit, to be able to have that. And that's, I think, what sets us apart too from some other brunch franchises that don't offer that. So just some other quick tidbits about our business, revenue streams. Again, due to COVID, we've obviously been forced to do carry out delivery via third parties. We have a nice merch wall everywhere at all locations. So we sell our t-shirts, we sell mugs. It doesn't account for a whole lot of revenue, but it's still nice to increase that top line. Quick table turnover. Most of our guests receive their minutes receive their food in under 10 or so minutes, and they're usually so enthused about the food that they scarf it down, and they're usually out of there pretty quick. So we're able to turn our dining room many times during the day. Simplified operations, we have one day part, and our employees or franchisees, if they're working the store, they're out by somewhere between 3 and 4 every day. And so this is a huge advantage that we have over those nighttime concepts. We typically get I wouldn't say a better employee, but definitely a different employee with a different mindset and kind of what they're doing extracurricular wise. And then improved lifestyle, again, talked about that. So it's very beneficial from a recruiting standpoint, as well as just quality of life. You can still go to your kids' games if they're on a weekend, during the evening. All right, so a little bit about our numbers. So things are looking sunny side up at Biscuit Belly. Our average cost of labor, and again, this is 2021 numbers. So these numbers include, at least in Kentucky, 3 to 4 months of partial opening, and just wanted to make sure that that's known. So average cost of labor, 26.6 to 31.1. Average ticket price, and this isn't per customer, this is per ticket, $24. and our average cost of goods 26.3 to 28.3. Now, obviously, we've seen a trend upwards to these limits at our stores with the way the labor market is and the commodity market. But we feel that in the next year, once things settle down, we'll be able to get down towards those lower ends of those numbers. So from a prime cost standpoint, very attractive for those multi-unit operators. So a little bit about our first franchisees. So these are our first three, and I'll talk about two others in the works here. The very first one, Schaffner Family Foods. They have 30 plus KFCs, about 10 Long John Silvers. It was actually their daughters who told their dad, like, hey, you need to check this place out. They just started franchising. And again, that's our ability to bring in those younger customers and hopefully influence their parents a little bit. Power Brands Hospitality Group, they're in about 30 total locations spanning about 15 different brands in Alabama. So that's anywhere from Five Guys, Super Chicks, Cinnabon. They've done a lot over the years. Really excited about them. And then Missy Moon and Keith Estapa, multi-unit operators in the past. They're going to take the Atlanta market. So right now we have a total of, between these three groups, 15 units that are committed. Chuck and I have put together a joint venture group with some Louisville-based investors and entrepreneurs to do 5 in the Nashville market. And we're pretty close to signing a second Atlanta deal. So we think by the end of the year, we'll be up to about 20 to 25 units in development. And we're still having very good conversations. And who we are trying to attract here is that multi-unit operator. We are not trying to teach someone how to run a restaurant for the first time. We're looking for people, as you can see from our Rolodex of franchisees so far in this brand, is we're looking for those experienced people. And again, that match our core values and that can also grow with us. And these guys are willing to teach us something as well. We don't have all the answers right now. We are willing to learn from our franchisees, which they find very attractive as well. We've spent a lot of money getting our systems in place and making our unit economics better through technology and kitchen redesign and just overall operations of the restaurant. So we worked with a group down in Miami called Profitality. They totally redesigned our kitchen. And Evansville, Indiana, which I showed you previously, that is our first kind of go at that new design. And so far, we've been able to drop ticket times by about 50%. And that'll really come in handy when we start our drive-through model. We have a loyalty app that we've rolled out fairly recently. And that is 100% integrated with our POS system, which we use Toast. And we're going to continue to grow our abilities through those apps here in the future. We're looking at our drive-through model, which we've already talked about, and then our solid operations and training manuals. We've spent months and months and months and spent money and time with consultants to figure out how we can best support our franchisees through appropriate operations and training manuals. We've heard from our franchisees that we've already signed that a lot of early stage companies, franchisors, don't have these systems in place, and they are commonly building these for them. However, again, we see the growth ahead of us, and we feel like we need to be investing in this now to be able to best support our franchisees.
Yeah, Jeff, real quick on that one. One of the other things about the company that I think is important is that there are the 4 stores that are open. We own them. We're going to continue to build company stores. We're self-financing. Our balance sheet is very strong. And then between Chad and Lauren and I, we have the ability and the commitment to pre-fund some of these expenses. We don't have to wait on profits or growth down the road. We're going to put these systems and people in place today to make sure that we are ready to support our franchisees and our corporate store growth over the next 4, 5, 10 years.
So what it takes to roll with us, a little bit about just our initial investment, minimum capital. So we require $300,000 minimum liquid capital, $600,000 minimum net worth. Our fee for the first 2 locations, so our franchise fee for the first 2, $30,000. It then drops down to $25,000 thereafter, as long as those are under the same area development agreement. Our total investment, and I want to point out that this includes 3 months of operations, security deposit, 3 months of rent, a lot of extras that our attorneys wanted us to put in there just to to keep us safe and
required by the FTD. So
yeah. So we put a lot of stuff in here, but this does assume getting absolutely zero from the landlord and basically just a cold dark shell. Our royalty rate for the first 2 years is 5%, and then it bumps up to 6% thereafter. So if you're interested in taking the next steps or learning more about Biscuit Belly, you can go to our website, biscuitbellyfranchise.com. You can schedule some time with the lovely Miss Lauren. Her information is on the website, and she will reach out to you very, very quickly. So without any other slides, I'd like to take questions. It looks like we have some questions over here. So the first question, how are your franchisees financing their expansion? Most are, again, multi-unit operators. So they have operations already in place in which they're able to have that cash flow to get on with the new brand. They may be financing outside of that, but it's not something we've necessarily discussed with them. How are you handling the ever-changing workforce challenges? Very good question. We like everybody are definitely struggling with that. However, we feel that we've been pretty lucky, especially in the onset of everything coming back online and open, that we've been able to retain our people pretty well. One way I think we're able to do that for front of house, and one of the ways what makes this model work and keep our labor in line, is we pay our front of house people anywhere from $3 to $5 an hour, and they are making an additional $13 to $20 an hour in tips. And so they're very well compensated overall and in total, with just what I would think is a pretty easy operation. And we have morning time hours. They're working weekends, but they're off by 3 or 4, and that is definitely attractive.
I think that's a major competitive advantage for this concept.
Yeah, and you're not getting phone calls at really past 5 p.m., which is nice, just from a quality of life standpoint. Yeah. Sorry, reading some of these others.
Construction and design.
So how do you prepare your incoming franchisees with design and construction practices? So we are just, again, talking about getting ahead of things and seeing our pipeline. We have a John Van Linton who used to work at Papa John's with Chuck, and as well as Yum Center or Yum Brands. He did a ton of remodels, ton of new construction, and he is going to be leading here in a couple of months our development arm. So he's going to be the one picking up the phone, making sure that franchisees are staying on course, are helping them procure FF&E, and really any construction related items that come up. And we also have our designated vendors and approved vendors already. We have a group in Cincinnati from an architectural standpoint that has done every Biscuit Belly thus far. And so they know the brand and they can whip out drawings pretty quick. Another question, where in Georgia are you from? I'm from Athens, right outside Athens, went to the University of Georgia, their College of Pharmacy. So great question there, go Dogs. And does Biscuit Belly have a target for corporate versus franchise owned locations? We don't have a magic percentage formula or ratio that we're trying to strive for. We are going to continue to grow corporate stores, but I believe, and this is likely how it usually goes, is the franchise stores will start to become bigger and more plentiful than the corporate stores, and that's fine with us.
As we talk about the Louisville market, which is really Evansville to Louisville and probably southern Indiana down to Elizabethtown for us. What we're going to do ourselves, and then as Chad mentioned, we've got this group we're putting together that he and I will both be participating in. That's going to do most of the Nashville DMA. So we're going to continue to open either joint venture stores or company stores. But as he said, our goal would be for the franchise growth over the next few years to ramp up so that we will become a smaller and smaller percentage, but still have a meaningful investment in operating and owning restaurants ourselves.
Yeah, we always want to put our money where our mouth is, and building 2, 3, 4 stores and then trying to franchise. That's what we've done. but we don't want to just stop there because we've been pretty successful with our current stores. So we want to continue to grow the brand just selfishly ourselves and bringing on those right partners. And again, I think we're about to, we're kind of starting to climb up that hockey stick as far as growth is concerned. We'll probably have 10 to 12 locations between corporate locations and franchise locations open next year. And then,
Okay.
all right, thank you.
Thank you very much.